In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the forgotten virtual world that Build-A-Bear used to have, called Build-A-Bearville, later named Bearville, which lasted from 2007 to 2015. There's a small group of passionate community members who still talk about this game. In fact, there are people even working on a revival of this game right now. But I can't help but think this game was underrated and underappreciated. So in today's video, I really want to talk about everything this game had to offer. Also, there's going to be timestamps down below, so if you want to skip to like your favorite part, you can do that, but please don't, because I want my watch time to be really good. Also, I think this is the part where I tell you to like, comment, and subscribe, so go do that, please. Build-A-Bear is a store that was founded in 1997 by former Payless Shoe Source president Maxine Clark, with the first location opening in St. Louis, Missouri. The name Build-A-Bear is pretty much as self-explanatory as you can get. You build a bear. Customers stuff an animal, put a heart in it, buy it clothes, and are even able to customize a message that plays every time you squeeze your animal. I am not afraid to admit that I did build a bear or two, but as a kid that grew up terminally online, their online virtual world, which launched in late 2007, was probably my favorite thing about Build-A-Bear. Fun fact, this made Build-A-Bear the first ever company to have a store on location while also having an online virtual experience. See, I do research for these videos. It's clear in the company's annual reports that the purpose of this game was to increase brand engagement and raise awareness of its in-store products. Essentially, this website was a walking advertisement for their Build-A-Bear stores. The game was free. You didn't need to purchase an animal from the Build-A-Bear store in order to play. You could just log in and create a citizen. So how did they make money? First of all, those who did not have a furry friend, and yes, that's what they're called. They call the animals furry friends. But those who did not have a furry friend did not get access to all the perks the game had to offer. All plushies, or my bad, furry friends contained a birth certificate that had an animal ID and key code. From there, you could enter your furry friend code into the website and your furry friend would appear in the game. Every time you redeemed an animal, you would get 1,000 bear bills, which was an in-game currency, exclusive rewards, and a free room for your cub condo. The free room may not seem like a big deal, but it was. Purchasing rooms was expensive, so getting a free room and in-game currency was a great way to bring in recurring purchases. But it just didn't stop at animals. For every item you bought at the Build-A-Bear store, whether it be clothing or other accessories, you would get one in-game credit. Credits were a rare currency that could get you rare clothes and even rides. In 2009, they launched the very important Bear membership, a paid monthly membership that gave you bear bills and credits. So in conclusion, the game may have been free, but in order to be cool in the game, you were going to have to memorize the digits on the back of your parents' credit card. So let's take a look at the game, shall we? And by take a look at the game, I mean we are going to look at old photos and videos that have been archived because the game does not exist anymore. So in the game, when you got your first furry friend, you would get a cub condo. You could also add rooms to your condo by making purchases with real-life money at Build-A-Bear Workshop, earning badges, or even purchasing them at the Lumbear Yard. Get it? It's like, it's a bear pun, like lumbar, like lumbear. Oh, never mind. Now let's be honest. Regular rooms were for scrubs. The cool bears had party rooms, which were rare rooms. And if you haven't caught on yet, rare items are just like items that cost money. That's literally what rare means in this game. Some of the party rooms included Castle Party Room, Outer Space Party Room, Zoo Party Room, Rock Party Room, Fashion Party Room, Sporty Fun Party Room, Dance Party Room, and Beach Time Party Room. Most of these party rooms you could only own if you booked an actual party at Build-A-Bear Workshop, so that's one expensive room. There was a town square, and one of the things I have fond memories of was the Futuristic Fountain, which was a game where if you throw a coin at a duck and it hits it, you would get a prize. Similar to the Wheel of WoW found in Webkinz, you could only do this once a day, which kept users coming back. I mean, who wouldn't want to come back once a day to get prizes like an apple hat or a fire hydrant? Next, there is the Bearville News Network, or BNN for short. This was a news station which was home to The Chloe Show, which featured pre-recorded interviews with esteemed guests such as Alvin and the Chipmunks, Ronald McDonald, Victoria Justice, Corbin Bleu, that's a name I haven't heard in years, and Cody Simpson, also a name I haven't heard in years. They even had a bulletin board where you could ask Bear Me questions or give Paulette suggestions. Those were both bear puns if you couldn't tell. One thing you'll notice about this game is that there are a lot of bear puns. I know it can get really nauseating, so please bear with me. No pun intended. Actually, pun intended. I was planning this joke for like a couple weeks, and I'm really excited. I hope you liked that joke. I never really looked at this as a kid, and when I was doing research for this video, I thought it would be like an advice column where you ask questions like, hey, Bearme, how do I make friends? Or how do I get A's in school? Both things I could have benefited from as a kid. But instead, it was just a member of the Bearville staff answering questions about the game. This section was a part of the Bearville Times, a newspaper that was essentially just advertisements and news about the game. You could find old archives of the Bearville Times in the Bear University Library, another bear pun for those keeping track at home. There was also a classroom at Bear University. It says it's a university, but one of the mini games consists of a lesson on shapes that you would have learned when you were 8 years old. Honestly, I think this stuff is really cool. I remember doing this as a kid, and I never really saw it as learning. I just saw it as like playing a game. You could also enroll in classes that were split up into 4 different grades, with the highest grade being 6th grade, so I'm starting to think this wasn't actually a university. There was a gymnasium where you could play games, and also the Junior Cyber Guide HQ. Junior Cyber Guides, which is a pun on cyber, like cyber. They were users that played the game a lot and pretty much passed a test. I remember frequenting the Sportsplex a lot as a kid. Essentially, this was a place for your character to exercise because remember, kids, exercise is good. There is something ironic about a virtual world telling you to go outside. Think about that for a moment. There was bear-to-bear racing, which I remember being unnecessarily difficult as a kid, and also bear-to-bear baseball. Inside, at the front desk, you could take a daily quiz where you pretty much checked off all the things you did that day. But of course, there was no way to verify that you actually made a healthy snack or played outside, so I have a sneaking suspicion a lot of people lied. I know I did. There was also a bowling alley, gymnastics arena, and fitness center. Then we have the Furbulous Fashion District, which was home to the coffee shop. You could even work at the coffee shop, which is actually kind of cool. You could serve players in real time. If you clicked on the cat poster, you could go to a secret coffee shop, which is a coffee shop that was outside and had a pool. That was it. There was no like mini games or anything. It was just a coffee shop outside. And secret rooms were actually a common thing in this game. Secret rooms were essentially rooms that weren't on the map, and you could get to them by clicking on certain places. Whether it be someone recording their computer screen with their parents' camcorder or using Windows Movie Maker, there are plenty of videos out there showcasing all the different secret rooms in Bearville. Also in the Furbulous Fashion District, there was a salon where you could give your character a new look. You could even give your character braces, because why not? There was also Paulette's Coiffure Boutique and a theater. In the theater, you could watch cinematic masterpieces from the likes of Cody Simpson. Next, we have the Paw Forming Arts Center, where you could play keyboard Dance Dance Revolution or even become a DJ. Next, we have the Berrywood Mall, which actually looks like a mall. You could even ride in one of those kiddie car thingies. Look how exciting that is. There's a clothing store in this mall. It's just called Clothing Store. There's no bear pun here. I can't bear leave it either. Also, I just remembered that you could trade items in this game. I remember doing this a lot as a kid. You would get paired up with another user and you would just trade with them. I'm sure I scammed some people back in my day, not gonna lie. There was an accessory store and an art studio, and in the art studio you could actually make a bunch of different things like paintings, statues, figurines, decals, and necklaces. There was also an ice cream parlor called Ice Cream Parlor. They seriously missed the opportunity to call it Ice Cream Parlor, like paw, like a bear. I should probably stop explaining these puns. There was also a skate park where you could swim with your clothes on, and a paw park where you could fish. There was Friendship Forest Park where you could play musical chairs, and a meadow which was home to this photo game which I absolutely hated as a kid. There was a farm where you could bob for apples, and even do a pie eating contest where you just had to vigorously smash on your keyboard. Wow, look at that snowman go. Joey Chestnut who? There was also a beach and a lighthouse, and they had an underwater section that looked really cool. There was actually a bank at the train station, which was actually done in partnership with US Bank. Here you would get tips about finance, and you could even deposit bear bills and gain interest. I think I learned more about how money works from this game than I did in school. Another thing I remember about this game were the emoticons, and boy were there a lot to choose from. Some of these were exclusive, like the Wii emoticon, which you could only get if you purchased the Build-A-Bear Workshop Wii game. And I was today years old when I learned that there was a Build-A-Bear Workshop Wii game. You could even get an emoticon for winning Camp Happy Heart, which gives me the perfect segue to talk about Camp Happy Heart. Camp Happy Heart was a summer camp you could sign up for where you would get assigned to a random team. Users completed tasks to earn points for their team, and whoever had the most points by the end of the camp would win prizes. In 2010, Camp Happy Heart had 1 million campers. In 2011, Camp Happy Heart was ice cream themed. This was to promote their line of DQ Blizzard bears. They were basically an advertisement for Dairy Queen. When doing research for this video, this seemed like a fan favorite, and it makes a lot of sense. I think as a kid, I really enjoyed the competition aspect of it, and I also enjoyed that idea of this thing that only happened like once a year, like you could only do these activities and these challenges every year, so it just felt special for some reason. Also, it certainly helped that you could get exclusive items, which as a kid I loved, and I'm sure other kids did as well. They also did yearly carnivals, with the first carnival starting in 2008. There were bottle towers, a game called Berry Good Aim, ring toss, and a Ferris wheel that you could actually ride. In July 2011, they did Smurf Out, which was a promotion for the Smurf movie, if you remember that masterpiece. Basically, users would get randomly smurfed at different points in the day, and by randomly smurfed, I mean their screen would turn blue. Probably one of the most iconic events was visiting the North Pole. During Christmas time, users could take the train at the train station and visit this magical place. There was this sledding game, which was basically like the sledding game in Club Penguin. You could even take Christmas-themed pictures in the photo booth. Similar to the coffee shop, you could work as a Christmas kitchen server, and there was an assembly line where you could be one of Santa's helpers and make toys. Looks like you could also watch movies and drink hot chocolate too, so that's cool. When I was looking up videos of this event, I was reminded of the fact that when people used to make YouTube videos about Bearville and other online virtual worlds back in the day, they would open up a separate document and type out what they were doing instead of using a microphone or a pre-written slide. Like, they would just type it up. Real time, mistakes and all. Those were some of the premier events on Bearville. These were yearly and they would make adjustments on them, and this concept where you have several events sprinkled throughout the year is genius when it comes to online worlds because it keeps users coming back. I know it had me coming back. This game cultivated a community which existed outside of the game. One of the things that were notable about Bearville and other online games were the fan-generated content. For example, there were videos where users would create music videos in Bearville. I can't play them because I want to make money on this video, but these videos would consist of in-game footage of Build-A-Bearville characters saying the lyrics of popular songs. Really riveting stuff. But clearly there was a place for these kinds of videos because the You Belong With Me Bearville music video has 90,000 views, which is more views than I've gotten in a very long time. So props to you, Bearville YouTubers. I could not make a video about Bearville if I didn't talk about the soundtrack. And wow, there were some bangers. I'll link all the songs in the description down below because there is literally an hour's worth of songs that were in this game. But right now, I'll just play you some of my favorites. As you can see throughout the video, there were a lot of content in this game and a strong community as well. However, that all came to an end in March of 2015 when the game shut down. There was a petition on change.org to bring the game back, which had a whopping 1,445 signatures. Regardless of the specifics, it was a really sad day in the community, and I can understand why people were upset. But as I said, this game cultivated a strong community, so it makes sense why a fan-made revival of this game, Bearville Rewritten, was announced in December of 2020. This is a similar idea to the revivals of Club Penguin or Toontown, where passionate community members try to pretty much republish the game, and from what I understand, don't make a profit at all. Bearville Rewritten is currently in the developing stages, and the final game will be completely free. Right now, the Bearville Rewritten team has released some old minigames and has a little bit of the online world available to play. Again, completely free. So it's not complete right now, but it is a nice little nostalgia booster to get you prepared for the full game, which I'm sure will be out eventually. If you really liked this game as a kid, or if you're just curious about it, I've linked the Bearville Rewritten website down below for you to give it a try. Also, shout out to the Bearville Wiki and the Bearville Rewritten server because they were extremely helpful in providing me information for this video. It made my research so much easier, so please check out both of those when you get the chance. But that's it for today's video. Let me know what you thought. Did you play this game? Are you going to be playing the revival? What did you think of the video? Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Also, shout out to the channel members. If you want to be a channel member, there is more information in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.